I'm Laura.
Oh, yes. Oh my God.
What's your name?
Harsh.
Harsh. Nice to meet you. I'm with I'm with Home Concierge.
Yes,
Your
my
concierge
group
service
yes.
when you're getting home
So,
ready for market.
my
We help
group.
you prep it. Yeah, I just came to say hi and introduce myself. How long have you been with this office?
Come on. Okay, so now you guys can do
Yes.
whatever you guys
So,
want.
yes.
Did you just
You're
get
still
your
going to
license?
your conference, right?
Oh, yeah, I'm still in here.
Because it would have some like questions.
What were you doing
Yeah,
before
that's
you
right.
got
So I'm
real
still in
estate?
here. When you guys text and stuff, I'll still see it. I'm not gonna exit out. Yeah, so that's good. So now you guys are group admins and you
Yes,
can do whatever.
whatever, yeah. we can-
Awesome.
Okay.
Okay. Of course. You have saved my.
When are you coming up to Oakland? Are you coming to Oakland tomorrow?
Yeah.
You're not coming to the Oakland team meeting? You should come. You could come to, you should talk to them and come to Oakland.
All
They so
right.
badly
Well,
need
nice
this
to meet you.
person.
Congratulations. It's fun. New career. And it looks like you might have a mentor.
This is new
I'm
too.
surprised. I thought Michael would have been all over that.
No, John, I'm not sponsoring, I'm just here just to say hi to
Yeah, I know. But not
Nice
you.
to see you.
I mean, it's, I mean, I would love.
You weren't, yesterday you weren't in Palo Alto. I thought you'd be in our Palo Alto.
Well, yesterday I thought.
Oh, hi. Sorry, I thought you were somebody, I thought you were somebody else. I'm so sorry.
No, it's all good.
I'm so sorry.
I thought you'd be at the Palo Alto office, but their team meeting is every Monday.
Good, good. So I'm just trying to get this to play.
So can you let me know when the meeting is? I mean, I'm not sure I
It's
told Mike.
the first and third Wednesday of every month.
First and third.
So tomorrow is the first Wednesday of April. I'm gonna be there, but there should be some RMA every meeting. Sorry, I don't wanna interfere with Michael's plan. I'm really
I wanna
surprised.
join, I missed the last one.
I think you should.
Yeah, not at all. I'm going to ask him. So, the first and the third weekend. I mean, the third Wednesday. Okay, I got it.
Yeah, Oakland office, until they have somebody in there, it should be you. And I'm willing to say how awesome you are to people. And I understand you're helping Venkatesh's client?
Yes.
That's great. How many active buyers do you have? See, I knew you'd get busy right away, and if you go into Oakland, you'll be swamped. It may be too much for you to handle.
Not at all. Yeah. Because, you know, you send an application, you know, we send them online, we send them upload information, you know, for the times, and then I sign it up to do the stuff.
I'm just saying, you're desperate in Oakland.
I met, Mary Trump. She was at your.
Oh, good. She hasn't reached out to me though.
But she attended the seminar.
Great.
So when I left, she was like, eye contact, I'm like, hi, you know, we introduced each other, and I'm like, okay. And so we exchanged contacts, so.
I haven't followed up with her yet, because I've had no excuses, it just hasn't happened yet. It just hasn't happened. So her name was Mary Trump. I don't even know if she probably isn't, I'm in my database right now, let's see if she's in my database. She's a buy, wants to buy.
Good to know.
What? Oh, she's an agent. I don't know who that is. What else? Are you talking about Macy Chung?
Oh, Macy Trump, sorry.
No, Trung. Chung. Okay. That makes a lot more sense. Okay. You were there live, right? Okay. Sorry. Macy, of course. She's an agent in the Oakland office. It's all good.
Yeah, so I met her, and we exchanged.
Good. Yeah, that's
What
good.
time is the first meeting?
It's I think they're at 10. It's at 10 tomorrow.
Do you get to play up there too? Yeah.
But so far it's Fremont, Palo Alto.
They really badly need people.
And I would love to be there.
I mean, it is, what am I doing?
Okay, so
Date completed. I want date completed.
Yes, yes.
Hell, am I looking?
Well, I
want
find that the most
undone
successful
tasks.
agents,
I want
whether
to
they
do.
use our service
That's
or
the
they
problem.
don't use our service, they have their own concierge.
That I want today. That makes me
Offer everyone their
today.
clients.
There
I
we
feel like
go.
those are the most successful
Oh, is it
agents
already
who
11
have
o'clock?
every single
Shit.
project.
Oh, sorry, you
There's
didn't.
always something you need to do to like make the house look beautiful.
Real estate. That's what we drink.
Yeah, well, we're here to help. I'm not presenting
Oh my
today, but if you
goodness,
ever,
stop
but
this.
if you, when you do
I'm
get
struggling. I'm struggling.
Don't struggle.
connect
struggling.
to us,
What do you need help with?
help you.
To be able to click on a button. There we go. I
Yes.
just have to click on the right.
I'm gonna like, I wanna come.
And I'm there Friday morning, so I can see it. I'm there every Friday. If you turn out that you, if it turns out that you end up being if it turns out that you end up professional,
It's good.
if it ever turns out that you, are gonna be the Oakland RMA person, I had Dodge come up and speak to me a couple months ago.
There's always.
If you wanna come up and speak to the PCs, we get 20 to 25 people every Friday morning for the same program we do down here, but it's a bigger office. And it's a really great group, and they should hear from RMA on a regular basis. So,
Every Friday,
9 to 10, but I need you to come make it by appointment with me because I have an agenda.
Right.
So I can't just have you come.
Yeah, so I
Maybe
will-
in a few weeks. I have a lender coming, not a lender, I have a, title company coming this month. So maybe towards the end of the month.
I will give you a heads up on that. Tomorrow.
Oh, Mark. What's his name?
Do I have to give you a heads up for tomorrow as well?
I went and checked it out.
Yeah, not tomorrow. Tomorrow you have to talk to Connor.
Oh my god, well, I guess there's
She.
a line of like who represents that street, because if he's like, oh, that's another agent that like, I guess they.
We're gonna leave it as a, don't worry about us.
Yeah, she doesn't have any slides for it.
It's more,
But
that's
it's
like
sold
more of
in
an
pending,
agent.
I see a sign that says.
It's big and putting together on office.
Is it, it's sold?
Yeah.
I know, yeah, well, yeah, we're good.
Oh, okay. Oh, he does?
That way they won't need a lot.
No, because I saw a sign that said pending sale, like a week ago, so maybe it's already done.
What's your pump up song? Go. I need a pump up
Songs
song now.
have bad words in them.
I'll find a clean version.
Yeah.
Nothing is green. We tried green. There is a name green list, which is also not green. Nowadays, people don't prepare songs.
Do you have a pump up song? No.
Ask me to play.
What's the, yeah.
It's not a song.
Imagine
Jorge
Dragons.
Galan signed a buyer.
Imagine Dragons.
What?
Pump up song, you got one? Might be the
I always go on to Spotify and just say like dance music,
Oh,
or
yeah.
you're the DJ, you should have a
I'm
song.
a DJ.
Weren't you, did you?
Did
I
I?
feel like a year ago or something, I was at a meeting, you were talking about
Music?
music.
Probably, but not music that's
Appropriate here. Oh my god, that's so weird. Huh? Queen songs.
Yeah, that's how it is to see you.
I heard you went on a big vacation. Were you in Argentina?
Argentina, yes.
How was it?
It was great and amazing and hard and long and.
Did you go to Patagonia too? Oh, which part? Because did you do the Argentinian side?
And Chile, yeah. We were down at the bottom, yeah.
Yeah, I've done all of that
Sweet,
as well.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was, well, it's 2 weeks with just my dad, so that was the challenge.
Good for you though. That's memories that you'll always have.
That's right, I learned so much about him, and I feel very grateful that we were able to.
That's awesome. So what was your itinerary?
We did a few days in Buenos Aires and then flew down to El Calafate, rented a car, so I get to drive around a lot. Yeah, we did the leisure and ate a lot.
Fun.
Yeah.
And you were gone for like 2 weeks?
Yes. Yeah. And then drove down to Chile, stayed in Forge for the holidays.
Oh, isn't that amazing?
Yeah, yeah. That's
loved it. I thought
Yeah.
that was, but it's the hillside town, right?
No, I think that's El Sultan. Puerto Natales is right on the water. It's a little,
Yeah.
it feels kind of sleepy, but also has some like tourist
Okay, I'm
atmosphere.
thinking of a different part. Okay, we were there for New Year's, I was thinking now on
Yeah.
get started. Oh, okay.
Once the
I love
song-
traveling. It's like my
Yeah.
favorite thing to do. We did the Chilean side of
Yeah.
Patagonia, which was amazing. We backpacked like for 5 days.
Oh, you did the W thing?
Yeah, we did.
Cool.
Yeah,
I met some
yeah.
people that were doing that.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah, it was so hard. It was like the hardest thing that I've
Yeah.
done consecutively. Like I've done a 10-mile hike before,
Yeah.
but not like 5 days in a row.
Right. Up and down.
Up and down.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
With the wind. And
Yes.
Probably
yes,
rain and
yes,
everything else.
Yes. But they make it easy because you go from hut to hut to hut.
Yeah, that's helpful.
Yeah. So fun. And thank you for, I know you have a deal that's, is it going through or how's it working?
How's it going?
In the listing
Good to see
stage,
you.
she wants to move forward. We're waiting on Dominique to tell us about permitting. We want to permit part of the project.
Yeah.
So we're waiting on timeline and what that looks like.
Yay.
Yeah.
Well,
But she's been great.
I know, she's awesome. Our project directors are great.
Yeah.
So, well, thank you, appreciate it. And now you're with the new team.
Yeah, with the Gunnery Group. That's been great. Yeah. Thank you so much. All right.
We weren't quick on our meeting this morning. It said that all the registration are off across the board. We were short like 20, 30.
19-ish. Yeah.
Because I saw the final balance sheet, like, we were at like 44.
Yeah.
All right, everybody, how we doing today? Thank you all for coming. I know it was raining outside. I know we always get a lighter attendance when that happens, but thank you all of you who did make the trip. You guys, it is officially the end of the first quarter. It is April 1st today. How are we all feeling now that the first quarter is behind us and we have 3 more to look forward to? What's everybody's thoughts on the first quarter this year so far? Let's hear some thoughts, regardless of the situation. What are people seeing out there? Any good, any bad, anything that you want to discuss? Come on, I know I can stand up here all day until somebody says something. Let's get something going. Let's hear something good from the first quarter from somebody. What's something good that's happened in your guys' life, in your business, or anything at all?
I pass.
You passed your real estate exam. There you go. That's a good accomplishment. Congratulations.
That's a great
A
one.
lot of new agents joined the company.
Yeah.
And it will be like new opportunity for us.
Yep,
Yeah.
there you go. Love to hear that. Some new opportunity, new agents, new faces in the workplace. Love to see that. Let's see.
I feel like there's a little renewed energy with my selling clients that they're more accepting of where we're at in the markets and ready to move. So that feels good. That feels like a win.
Okay,
Yeah.
like that.
I'm the first listing.
Hey.
Oh, congrats. How did you get that?
Sphere Influence, I sold her home, helped her buy a home last year.
Okay,
So she's
gotcha.
selling her rental property.
Okay, wonderful. Do we have you on the board today for
Yeah.
coming? Okay, wonderful. We'll talk a little bit about that a little bit.
Photography's gonna be done today, and then if there's a picture, it's not that pretty because she sent it her.
Don't worry about it. We can always get some new ones going for you.
Cool.
Love that. Congrats.
Thank you.
Yeah. That's cool. That's big.
Excited.
Man, first listing. That's fun. Make sure to lean on people as you
Yeah,
need.
I'm William. I'm still working with
Oh,
William.
sweet. Okay.
He's gonna- I'm mentoring me in that one, so it's
Nice.
really helpful.
There you go. Love to
Very
hear it.
All right.
Congrats to the new listing. Today at the end, Joe has a little special presentation that might go a little bit longer than our normal team meeting. So we want to try and get through this first half a little bit quicker than we normally would, so that we can get into the bulk of what we want to talk about today, which is the 10 bold truths that Gary Keller just presented at Family Reunion this year. We do have some bold graduates, but we will also get to that as well. But did you want to talk a little bit about this since you're close with David?
Yeah, sure. So the MREA, the last release was David Gunderman, my business partner in Oakland. So he's being interviewed by Jason Abrams. Great conversations. Called Broadway to Billions because he used to be a Broadway actor, and now he's sold $3 billion worth of real estate. So pretty cool transition. And I think it goes to show that regardless of your background, like there's a place for you should you choose to take the right action and make it happen in real estate, which is part of what I'll be talking about at the end here. Awesome. What else we got?
Mega Agent Camp is in San Antonio this year. It's August 11th to the 14th, so it's coming up pretty quickly here. For those of you, who here knows exactly what Mega Agent Camp is? Besides Steven. That wants to kind of talk about maybe their experience or why it's valuable to them to go.
Steve will.
Did anybody here attend one in the past? Steve, I know you've attended.
The one advantage of Mega Camp is you get to sit in one place and then have all the speakers come through on stage instead of having to go from room to room to room. So you don't get as much exercise, but you know it's but you're with people a lot and you get to meet a lot of people and set up a referral base and so forth. But it's like I said, it's a different experience than family reunion because you're in one big room, you know, for multiple days. But it's just all brought right to you there on the stage.
Yeah, from my past experience, it's a little bit different than family reunion because family reunion is different breakout sessions for specific topics. Mega Agent Camp is the top agents throughout the nation and actually throughout the world since we are international. And we put them up on stage and they actually talk about their strategies with you guys so you guys can implement them in your own business. So if you guys want to hear from some of the best throughout the nation, throughout the world on how they created some of the biggest, you know, real estate companies in the world, you know, come to this. This is worth it, and it's cheaper than family reunion too.
The other thing that's different is that normally it's held in Austin, Texas.
Yeah.
If you've never been to San Antonio is a really, really cool city, and so it's a great place.
And some say the food might be a little bit better too.
Ooh. Not the people from Austin.
Yeah, not the people from Austin.
Temperature-wise, it's the same.
Yeah.
It's otherwise a very cool city.
It's in San Antonio.
This year.
Yeah, this year.
Neatest city in Texas.
Yeah, you like? Okay. Yeah.
Oh, San Antonio. Wonderful.
Does that mean you're gonna be
No.
joining us?
No.
We do have an elite mastermind coming up in a couple weeks here. It's in exactly almost 2 weeks. With Brady Sandall. It's going to be in Sunol, so a little bit in between like the Pleasanton and Livermore area. It's a 3.5-hour event. If you guys want to learn a little bit more about luxury and you want to network with people in that space, register. We can also send out some information to you guys as well about this as well. But it's a pretty cool event for you guys to master with people in the luxury presence.
Mm-hmm. Cool. All right, let's keep rolling. Oh,
But we do have a few people here that graduated. I think we're all, is Mahi here? No.
Mahi's sick.
Mahi's sick. Vegas has and Stephanie, congratulations on graduating. Tell us a few things about your experience through the 7-week program. What did you learn? What were takeaways, some ahas, and let's share something good with the group.
We learned so much, very motivating, lots of just tips of how to help buy and sell, and I don't know, just a lot of really great things. And being able to connect with all of the agents all around the Bay Area was super awesome. So you get to meet a lot of different people and having just have that addition to referral, referral partners.
Yeah.
And that was cool to me.
And it actually puts you into action, right?
Yes, and then we had to make calls. I mean,
You
I
got
didn't make the 100 bold challenge because you have to talk to 100 people a day. That was super hard. I got close, but I didn't make it.
How
But
close?
I was at 90
You talked to 90 people in one day.
in one day. I know, and I just could not find 10 more.
But
It was hard.
what was it like to have that accomplishment, though, to
It
get to
felt-
90?
It felt great. I pushed myself,
Yeah.
and it was a self-accomplishment.
Yeah,
So.
I can
And I know
imagine.
you've kind of moved into the mortgage space for our office now, but how has this been for your business? Are you now in more contact with people that you previously had before going into board?
Yes.
Are you getting maybe some more referrals, some more transactions underneath your belt from doing this?
Yeah, definitely. So transitioning into the loan perspective, I mean, I'm still kind of doing real estate on the side, so attacking both. I mean, it has gave me a lot of courage to talk to more people. I would talk to people at the supermarkets, and my son would just put down their head like, oh my gosh, please mommy, no. But, I kind of play two roles because I'm doing real estate now on the side, and loan is kind of my primary. So if I just talk to people, as long as they make eye contact, I'm saying hi, right? And I'm asking them, hey, are you currently renting? Or, you know, or do you own? If they say they're renting, then I'm like, oh, cool, are you interested in real estate and buying? If they say, hey, I already own, how's your interest rate? Is it high? Do you need a refinance? You know, so it just starts with conversation, so it's awesome.
Yeah, love it. How about, what was your experience, Megan?
I think just because Stephanie mentioned that there was a lot to learn, I think it is a continuous learning process as you go through the career. And I think persistence is the key, to be persistent with doing the things you're doing continuously on an everyday basis. Keep doing it till you get success, and keep doing it again and again. And I think networking is very important. As far as you do, keep on networking as and when you can, wherever you can. Right? And I think they helped a lot with the future of budgeting your time, budgeting your money, everything going forward. It really helped. And I think basically continuous learning, you know, that is what I mentioned. And I think one thing I noticed was that, like, you know, in all of the bold truths, one was missing. I mentioned that.
We'll have to talk about that
Yeah.
later.
I mentioned that she agreed to it. I think the one thing that was missing was, like, you know, celebrate success, take time out. That wasn't there. I thought that should be included, because that wasn't there in all of the 38 numbers. I think when people mentioned that, like, you know, they were able to succeed last week and they did not really take time out to enjoy the success. I think that's very important to add as the 39th truth. Take time out, enjoy the celebrate success, basically with your friends or whatever you do. I think that's what is important. I think there was a lot to learn. It was a very good experience on the whole.
Was it beneficial to you and your business?
Absolutely.
Love to hear it.
Awesome. All right.
Congrats one more time, and there they are. Yes, let's give them one more hand of applause. Congrats to the three of you. Love it.
Very cool.
Ron capped this month. Good for him. I don't think he's here today, but good for Ron. He's on 100% commission now. Harshdeep, welcome to the office. You want to kind of stand and introduce yourself a little bit?
Hello, everybody. My name is Harshdeep Singh.
Tell us, give us a little fun fact or something. What were you doing before this?
I was working for some other broker earlier, but there was no training provided or anything, so I decided to switch with the Keller Williams.
Awesome. Welcome to the family, man. Thank you for joining us. Are you? Yeah, there you are. Thank you. Welcome to the family.
Hello everyone, I'm Khushbu, and I'm a new licensee. So I have not received my license yet. I will soon get it. But I joined Keller Williams just today. Is my second session with Stephen, and that's all.
But you did pass the exam, right?
I passed the exam.
Congrats.
Congratulations.
So we're in that weird period in between getting your license and passing the exam. Stephanie, do you want to talk a little bit about REMA a little bit and the programs that you got?
So, yes. So for those who I have not met yet, I am Stephanie. I am the in-house mortgage lender for Mortgage Advisors.
We have people online too.
Oh, okay. And so I'm the in-house mortgage lending for Mortgage Advisors. And just to touch a little bit on the equity, this is one of our programs that currently is very popular for homeowners, for investors who do have equity in their home. And that want to tap into the equity to utilize it for any kind of use that they want. The home equity is simple to apply, and we can go with loan amounts all the way up to $2 million, whereas other outside banks are limited to $500,000. So it is a great resource for homeowners to want to utilize this cash out. It can be used for anything. So one of the most common things that are being used for is for home improvements. If they want to do remodeling or pay off college tuition, or one of the clients that I'm helping with currently is wanting to invest in additional real estate. So they are pulling out this equity line to take out the cash so they can invest to get their second home. So it's just a great resource for them to use. So if you have any clients that can benefit for this, please come talk to me. I am here available to support you in any way I can. So.
And they can do this without losing their current rate too.
They can lose, yeah, so this is a second mortgage. If they have a current mortgage already, they don't touch their first mortgage. So typically if they have a low interest rate in 3s or 4s, they don't want to, they don't want to touch that. So they would get that additional line so they can utilize that without having to affect their first mortgage.
Cool.
Love that. We can see how beneficial that is. all of you, everybody should be raising their hands, but I love
And
it.
on top of that, rates is looking good, it's going downwards. I've been monitoring the 10-year treasury, it's come down 3 weeks in a row now, so it's sitting at 4.1, coming down from the 4.3s. The US prime rate has come down as well from 7.75, now it's currently sitting at 7.5. So the trend is good, but again, we don't have a crystal ball to see where it's gonna go in the future. So if you do have any clients that, are interested in, in taking advantage of this, yeah, I'm here to support.
And she's in the office pretty much every single day, so
This is
come
there.
bombard her with questions.
Yes, for sure.
Thank you very much.
And I think the next slide has her information as well. Yeah, there's her QR code. So if anybody wants more
I'll
information.
point to that QR code on
Is
next
that-
to her
is that your
door.
personal QR code as well? Yeah, okay. Well, she's here, and so come ask her some questions.
Yeah,
this
lots
is
going on today, yeah.
This is for this week.
Cool, so you can always get this from
yep.
the front desk, or Harshita as well. All right.
This Friday, Gino's gonna be coming in with American Home Shield. It's a lunch and learn. If you guys end up just showing up without RSVPing,
no food for you.
tough luck. But please come. Gino is very informative. He did take a little bit of time out, but he's back and he's getting back on the horse. For those of you who do know Gino, he's very valuable.
Oh, yeah.
So let's come and learn from Gino on Friday, and please RSVP. We have some brochures up front. This is the following week. Next week, we have a few things going on as well with Eddie. I think we have some more information on that. We have a disclosures class with Eddie next Wednesday. It is Zoom only. I think he has a few updates as well. So come join. Eddie is our broker, for those of you that don't know, all the new agents here. He is the broker for our office and the Oakland office and the business centers surrounding. So,
He doesn't want outside people at this, correct?
no.
Okay.
From what I know, at
Okay.
least. Actually, no, this is disclosures in general, not just,
Yeah, I think it'd be okay. Who do you, like a guest?
Possibly.
Okay, we
Yeah,
can.
I don't know if they want to.
I'll ping him
3
afterwards.
hours.
Right.
this is, yeah.
I'll ping him afterwards and let you know.
Yeah.
I don't think he's talking about commissions or anything, so we should be okay.
This week, or next Thursday, is 75 Thrive with Adam Boxman. How to transform your consultations into a thriving business. So we always have this playing at the office as well for anybody who wants to join.
So dial in that buyer business. Awesome.
Eid is coming up, so Harshita, do you want to talk a little bit about this?
Yeah, so Ramadan is over and Eid was yesterday.
Yesterday.
Yesterday, right? Yeah, so yesterday, and we are celebrating because these guys are busy celebrating at home. Now we are celebrating this next week, Thursday. So please bring whatever you want in potluck, and the aim is to the networking part where agents see each other, understand, and enjoy together, and spend some quality time. So please RSVP, so we prepare just to make sure like we are prepared with how many people are coming as guests, and if you are inviting guests, in the RSVP link there are the number of guests you are bringing, so we can prepare.
Yeah, so for
Very
those of
cool.
you who came to last year's was a bunch of fun. I think we had almost 30 people at last year's with a bunch of little mini setups to celebrate too. So it's a really fun time. So I would love to see everybody there next
One little
Thursday.
thing.
What?
Just if you bring, just don't bring pork, that's all.
Okay, there you go. Don't bring pork if you guys are planning to bring anything.
Anything with it.
Thank
We
you.
There we
can't
go.
bring pork. Alan,
Yeah.
but I eat pork.
So.
Eat it another time.
Ignite After Dark. I think this is After Dark.
Yep.
Yep,
So this is
okay.
available to anyone who wants to brush up on their skills, or for our newer agents that might not be able to make it during the daytime Ignites. So there's a full schedule. We're down here. So win with buyer and win with seller is today. Those are great. That's how you win those conversations and lock down that business with your buyer or seller clients.
Yep.
There we go.
And I think we have some things coming up in the future here that we just want to run by really quick. Annette and Liz, our very good partners with JCP and First American, they're going to do a little vision board workshops, which are always fun. So come at the last week of April here.
With food.
Oh, with food too.
It said snacks, but it also said come hungry. So I assume they're bringing heavy snacks.
Yeah. Eddie is doing a contrast class that same day, I think a little bit after the vision board. That's gonna be Zoom only as well, so there's a full day of food and learning there.
Yeah, and for experienced agents, this is a great one to make sure you hit up at least once a year, because there are substantial changes. And this is the very thorough one, so not focusing on changes, but focusing on the whole contract. And I find it super helpful just for that refresher. Highlight paragraphs that maybe I haven't thought about the full repercussions of what it means. That's the value here for our experienced agents. All right, we got some new listing.
Coming soon.
We're
You
doing
guys
great
know
on
how I
time,
like to
too.
do this. How did you get it? Why someone would want it, and what the price is. G2 isn't here, but he has it coming soon in San Jose, 3-bed, 2-bath. Please reach out to G2 for more information. He's got another one coming up here in Fremont, listed at $850, 4-bed, 3-bath. Reach out to G2 for more information there as well. He is on a roll. Avi, are you here today? I don't think
Out of country.
He's out of country. Well, he has one coming up in Brentwood.
He's still selling houses.
4-bed, 2.5-bath. Reach out to Avi. Brentwood is a great location for investments. Alex, let's talk a little bit about yours.
And that's a great photo.
Yeah.
So it's could be a 1.5 bathroom, but basically this property is 100 years old. Made of brick on the outside there. The close part about this one that's kind of more attracted is the rate is 2.25 and it can be assumed.
Ooh.
Oh.
So yeah, I think that's the sell point of this property. But yeah, besides that, it's gonna be as is sell.
Cool. I'm going to repeat that. So it has a loan that can be assumed by a buyer, presumably who qualifies.
Yeah. Work with the lender, yeah.
And that rate is at 2.25%.
And it's solar owned as well.
And it has solar. Beautiful.
Do you know what you're going to be coming to the market at for the price by any chance?
So we came with a lot of strategies. She's pretty firm about what she wants with all my advice I've given her. But what she wants to do, I didn't want to overlist it because I showed her the comps already.
Yep.
But the trend, how it goes in Stockton is that they do overlist and they go for lower.
Interesting.
Right? Go down like 30, like something like 20K or 30K usually from it. So her plan is to list at 445K.
445.
She's
Okay.
going to negotiate a little bit.
445 to 225 rate.
Yep.
Awesome.
Pat, you got one in Union City.
Okay, so this one has been on the market, off the market, on the market, off the market, and now it's coming back on the market.
All with you as their
Because she
agent?
finally listened to me.
Ah,
Okay, there you
First
go.
time it's, I'm not moving out, I can't do this, I can't do that, I can't do this. And no one looked at it.
Yeah.
And then the next time okay, I can do some of that, but we can't move out. Okay, so this weekend she moved out and it is staged and it's going on the market, Thursday, hopefully early Thursday morning. I don't want late Wednesday night. And it's going, yeah, 468.8. We just touched that dollar amount a little bit. It was at 470, but I wanted to give it a new dollar amount. Just
Gets a little bit of
refresh it a
excitement on the
little, yeah.
MLS.
So this is the same price as before?
No, it was 470.
I'm sorry. Yeah, okay, okay. It was 470
So
now.
it's
it's
almost
460.
the
Okay.
same, but we got a few little other numbers in there and
Yeah.
more appealing maybe to a buyer. She is from my church. She's not the easiest client
Yeah.
for me to work with. She will be when she gets an offer.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yes.
That she
Union
likes.
City.
Yes.
Reach out to Pat for more information. And then we got a couple just listed as well. Steven, you want to talk about yours in Berkeley?
Yeah, we went on the market. Excuse me. We went on the market last week and we had a twilight open house. The view there at sunset is just gorgeous, and it went great. And Victoria saw it the day before, and it's a lovely unit, top floor, great for people going to UC Berkeley or going to BART or going to the Gourmet Ghetto. It's amazing location.
How did you get it?
Amazing views. Past client.
Past client, sphere of influence.
Yeah,
Love it.
offers tomorrow 5 p.m. and it looks like I'm gonna get, I know about one already.
Awesome. Here. Is there anybody from the Medford team here right now? I don't think so.
Hollister. Wow.
All the way out in Hollister, 3,812 square feet for 1,599. You're not going to see a lot of that here in the Close Bay area.
Well,
So
Share more details.
Who can?
Yeah,
Oh, Preet, okay.
I went to do the open house. 3 people showed up.
Ah.
amazing backyard, 5 acres.
Out in the
And
harvest.
if it makes it any interesting, the author's son has written a few books.
Ah,
So,
cool.
Okay, good to know. Well, reach out to the Medford team or reach out to Pri if you want more information.
Okay, any other before we jump
Is
in?
there anything that anybody wants to talk about that they have coming up or want to speak on that wasn't able to get? Chirag? Yeah.
Forgot your name. He said the buyer can assume the loan at 2.5%?
2.25.
Yeah, like, I'm sorry. So how did that happen? Or was it assumable loan, or did you talk to them to?
What's that again?
Was the loan assumable by somebody else, or?
Yeah, so the loan is with her itself, and the lender's allowing them to have it, whoever buys the property that works with them can assume the loan.
Who did you,
Assume that loan.
how'd you find that out?
The lender itself.
So you called the lender or had your client call the
Yeah,
lender?
we both spoke to them.
Yeah, okay.
Also, you talked to the lender?
Yeah, I have the information, I spoke with them as well.
Seems like there's a good lesson in there. If your client has a great interest rate and probably lots of equity, it might be worth calling the lender and seeing if it's assumable.
Do you know what kind of loan it is? Is it just a regular 30-year fix?
I have to find that out.
Okay, gotcha.
All right. Quick. Well, so any other coming soons that anyone wants to pitch real quick? Going once. Going twice. Okay.
All right.
Market. Let's talk about the market for 2 or 3 minutes. What are we feeling out there? How's inventory looking? How are your buyers behaving with all the craziness?
There's
Yes.
just lots of homes for sale out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Yeah.
Wish
Suddenly.
there were lots of buyers, they just seem to not be there right
So
now.
buyers have.
I think they're waiting, see if they still have a job next month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have a fear of recession,
Mhm.
a fear of losing their job, which is like Pat said, and with the new election, things going on with the government, everybody's so scared.
Yeah.
This can happen.
Is that kind of the same feel that everyone's kind of seeing out there right now?
Yes.
Yeah?
I was talking to Steve as well, he mentioned that townhomes, condos versus single families, it's a different story. And I experienced it myself. There was a townhome listed for 1.1, and I talked to the listing agent, she said, oh, well, the buyers expect 1.25. And of course, that scared my buyer off. And guess what? It's been 3 weeks now, and she was calling me a few days ago, hey, you can have it at a really good discount. Just come close to the list price. No.
Your buyer's gone at this
Yeah,
point.
yeah,
Yeah.
But on
Okay.
the other side, single families are still,
Yeah, single family.
Still moving? Yeah.
I mean, Steve can share more.
And there's 111 of them on the market right now in Fremont, it looks like.
Wow.
Is that a good number? Or does it
Yeah, it's
still
a great
feel
number.
short?
If
It's a
we
good
had
number,
more-
okay.
Yeah, if we had more pendings.
Yeah, it's only 70 pending, single families. Yeah. Steve, you have anything to
I
add?
was gonna say, it's kind of the tale of two markets right now.
Yeah.
The condo townhouse market has a lot of inventory, and has been seriously affected by the high interest rates and affordability.
Yeah.
Whereas the single family market still has reasonably low inventory, absorption rates high, and the average buyer here is a Silicon Valley employee and is not affected by the interest rate.
Yeah, and doesn't feel the nervousness, so you're not seeing that, the buyer
Well, here-
hesitation?
Yeah, I'm hearing different,
Yeah.
reports of some people are concerned about their job, and it's understandably so, depending on who you work for and how long you work there, and
Right.
how high you are.
Yep.
In the company.
Yeah.
And the condo townhouse market, the HOA, I think the fire insurance has caused
Mhm.
that
Yeah.
HOA to really soar.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one thing to really keep in mind if you're working with a condo townhouse buyer, is that, yeah, the HOAs are getting hit with huge increases in insurance, and they're gonna have to pass it on, and so HOA dues are gonna go up.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a major issue in the near term.
It's a major issue for somebody buying a house.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a major issue
Yeah.
everywhere, yeah.
Well, again, but that's still,
Right, you've got a
it still
lower
depends,
income.
still depends on geographically where you're located. Yeah, the rates have gone up, but, it just depends on where the house is located, as how high it's going to be.
Yeah, and it feels different too, this,
HOA for like insurance for townhomes and condos got up.
Well,
Because of the
remember,
fire or-
the majority of townhouses are condominiums,
Mhm.
okay? PUDs are different from condominiums. Most townhomes are condominiums.
No, my question is,
And that means
was
the
it
HOA,
because of the
that means
fire?
the HOA insures the building, the HOA owns and insures the buildings for fire.
And those-
It's not
The buyer
related
has
with
a
the
separate
fire
condo policy.
zones, which
I'm
is like,
sorry?
this is not related with the wildfire happening and the zoning will change.
Well, it kind of is. So
HOA townhome,
let's bring the conversation back up here. Yeah, so insurance
Increased
is,
cost. It's
yes.
just increased cost of insurance.
This is a great conversation to have when Stephen Klein is here next team meeting, so in 2 weeks. Let's expand this a little bit and talk about the cost of insurance, why it's going up. One thing to add about HOAs in particular is they've been essentially grandfathered into old, cheap policies. And that is unsustainable for the insurance companies to keep renewing them at the same rates. So they've gone dozens of years, well, in some cases, a lot of years without increase. But everything's gotten more expensive.
Yeah, it's just because they increased cost.
Yeah. Yeah.
My two clients, their insurance got canceled, home insurance got canceled on Friday without any notice. They
Yep.
just received a letter that day that day the insurances are canceled, so Stephen is helping them in all that.
Okay.
Love to hear that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that, you're not reading much about it, but that's happening because insurance companies are all going to need to fund the California Fair Plan because it's running out of money and its claims are huge. They don't have the reserves. And each carrier's contribution to the Fair Plan is based on their market share. So what carriers have been doing for the last year, they've been canceling policies to decrease their market share so that they don't have to contribute as much money to the Fair Plan.
Yep.
Once that contribution's been done, they'll start writing policies again.
Yeah.
When does that happen?
Let's keep this going in 2 weeks.
Is there a way to identify why it is being cancelled? I mean, there should be some kind of a reason, right, for it to be cancelled.
Sometimes the letters has a reason and sometimes it doesn't. But this, yeah, let's keep the insurance thing going in 2 weeks. We can have Stephen here and
Stephen will be able to tell
he'll
you
be
guys
our
all
expert.
about it.
Awesome. Okay, anything else on the markets? Back to the market. How do we get buyers off the fence, sellers off the fence, and keep inventory moving? If there's any last thoughts. Else we'll move on.
Do you have any thoughts?
Well, I mean, what I'm seeing is that we've got a lot of micro markets. Most of my sales business is in Oakland and Berkeley, which are also two very different markets. The 1 point something and up is doing great, especially in Berkeley. Yes?
I didn't want to interrupt.
Oh, okay. And then Oakland is just kind of suffering across the board, but especially in the condo market.
I was just going to add that there is a lot of, Alex talked about the fear in the marketplace. And our job is to get back to brass tacks with the people we interact with and talk about what's going on in their lives.
Mhm.
What are their housing needs? How do we resolve their housing needs?
Yeah.
And I think if you focus on that and don't get into all the noise of all the politics and all the other things going on, we will help them with their housing issues and they will see us as trusted advisors.
There you
I'm
go.
gonna
Love to hear
We'll
that.
just have the conversation in there. That was great. Thank you.
Anytime, Joe.
Let's talk about the bold truths. So Gary Keller and team rewrote Bold, which three of our agents got to experience this spring. There were a large set of Bold laws that you guys might know. We've had posters up in the office before. Someone might have a favorite one that they want to share real quick. No? Okay, yes.
Right, but it's, sorry.
Sorry. One of them I adopt was if it's not on your calendar, it doesn't exist.
Yes.
I love that.
So that's a bold law. That's great. So during the rewrite, and I'll just repeat that, if it's not on your calendar, it doesn't exist. That is a bold law. So when it was rewritten, Gary and team found that there were kind of two groups of principles to follow. One is a set of laws, like if it's not on your calendar, it doesn't exist. And then another group of 10 that we're going to go over that he is calling truths. They're just things that are. There's no arguing with them. There's no getting around them. They just are. And around the concept of Bold itself, which is a life by design. So we're going to talk about the 10 truths. love for anyone to chime in, especially the people that visited, went to Bold this past few months. This QR code takes you to Gary's presentation at Family Reunion. It's an hour and 20 minutes long with lots of tangents, as you would expect from Gary Keller. So you're welcome to watch the whole thing there, or we'll condense it down into probably about, if I had to guess, 40 minutes is how long it'll take us to get through them. But we'll see. Depends how much we decide to talk. So it's about be bold and living our best life possible. So that's what these truths relate to, is how do we do that? What do we do? What's principles, what's in all these cases, scientifically backed ways to execute on our lives are there to live our best life possible. So we're going to start with number 1 here. Okay. So first, real quick, what does living your best life mean? It means doing your best to be your best. There's a whole conversation in that video about this concept, which Gary calls the way. We're not going to talk about that here, but if it sounds fascinating, watch the first 30 minutes of the video. You'll learn all about it, what the way is, and what actions are required to do your best to be your best. Notice that it's all relative to you. Like, that's what we're talking about here. We're not talking about reaching some universal standard of success or some universal standard of what the best is. It's your best. And I would presume that it's going to change over time as well. As we do our best to be our best, what our best is going to hopefully grow. It's going to be better than what it was a month ago or a year ago. Does that make sense? Cool. Okay, well, let's jump into, again, the way is in that video, but let's jump into the 10 laws. Number 1. Truths. Thank you. 10 truths. Number 1, happiness is a choice. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what does it mean to choose to be happy? So Gary found that it comes out of these 5 things. When we choose to be happy, it starts with taking responsibility and acknowledging that our happiness is in our control. And then we get to shift perspectives. We get to understand that whatever is going on around us, we get to choose to shed light on the positive side of things as opposed to the negative side of things. We get to shift our mindset, shift our perspective, and then change our mindset. Changing our mindset means when challenges arise, to frame them as opportunities. And then we get to practice gratitude, appreciate what we have in this moment as opposed to what we don't have. And then we get to take action. So we get to actively live that life that promotes well-being. And this is where I think your point holds true, is for probably all of us, that involves taking time for yourself, for self-reflection, for inner peace, for quiet time, away from the hustle culture that's around us.
Just to give an example, basically, we had a group, and one of the guys came out and had an escrow, basically. Mm-hmm. But he felt miserable the whole week, despite having an escrow going out. I really thought, there should be another one that maybe says, take time out, celebrate your success, basically, be happy what you've done in the past few weeks or 1 month. Yeah. And he really deserves it, that's what I thought.
Right. Without that, without understanding what your well-being requires, you get burned out. Like, that's what happens. And for some of us work in bigger peaks and valleys where we might go all in 200% for a number of days or weeks or whatever it is, but then we really need to be off for a number of days or weeks. I don't know. Whereas others of us are just like generators. Like, we just go and we go and we go and we go, and then we can take like micro times off. So understanding who you are and what's good for you, I think, is living this principle of actively living a life to promote your own well-being. All right, and then, so this is a fun little quote, Sean Aker. The relationship between success and happiness works the opposite of what most people think. Happiness and optimism actually fuel performance and achievement. I think we live in a culture where we're taught that, oh, if only we had this, then we'll be happy. If only we sold this many houses, then I'll be happy. If only I had that car, I'd be happy. What Sean Aker found in The Happiness Advantage, great book, is that it's actually the opposite. When you are happy, you get to achieve the things that you're out there to achieve. It actually fuels your drive. Any thoughts on that? That's a powerful concept. Yeah. Choose to be happy, then get what you want. And what you want might change. That's I've learned that plenty of times. Okay. Number 2, life is an inside job. Anyone want to guess what that means before the reveal? Life is an inside job. Yeah. Over here somewhere.
So maybe from the inside comes everything outward?
Yeah. Yeah. It all starts inside. Yeah.
No, try to know yourself first.
There's a big part of knowing, yeah, exactly, who you are and how you operate. Here's a little, some wisdom of the ages. You might recognize a lot of these phrases. Thoughts become deeds. Spirit manifest in the flesh. Think and grow rich. As a man thinketh, so shall he be. Ideas before results. Belief becomes reality. When you believe it, you'll see it. What you see on the inside is what you get externally. Mind over matter. What you can conceive, you can achieve. So it's all starting internally inside of you before the result happens. Gary Keller talked a lot about how life is an afterthought. He talked about Alfred Hitchcock and how Alfred Hitchcock, I almost called him Alfred like we're on a first name basis, how Mr. Hitchcock made his great movies. North by Northwest. Who's got a favorite Hitchcock movie?
Psycho.
Birds? Psycho? Yeah. Okay.
Rear Window.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
On a big screen.
On a big screen. Thank you for clarifying.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're seeing on the small.
So he was asked once, how do you make these things so amazing? And what Alfred, my friend Alfred described, was that he imagines the movie in his head, frame by frame, before they even start filming, so that when they go filming, it's an afterthought. It already happened. That movie was an inside job. So life is an inside job. Here's another little model showing the inside versus the outside. So on the inside, we have our spirit, our soul, the love that we feel and express, our thoughts and emotions, our believing, which all lead to a knowing of some sort. On the other side, so that's a knowing of yourself. On the outside, we have what we are physically. We have the relationships that exist in the real world. We have our money and what we do with it. We have our behavior, whether that's, again, in relationships or with our money or in our business. And then we have the results that come from that. All that's related to what we're actually doing, so on the outside, right? And the interesting thing about this is that they inform each other. One can create the other, but the opposite is true also. And when we let our doing, which drives our biology, create our psychology, we're kind of pigeonholed into whatever our results are. And so the reverse, thinking about going about it as life is an inside job, allows our psychology to drive our biology, because we have so much more control in that case. We get to create whatever we want. So that's what this little cute drawing describes here. And all that, of course, creates our biography, what actually happens to us in the world. All right, let's keep moving. Oop, did I skip one? No, okay. Number 3, this used to be a law. It's upgraded. It's now a truth. What you focus on expands. Yes, this is
my favorite. Usually
my go-to, well, I guess it'll be my go-to truth now. So what you focus on expands. Do we all agree on that? This should be an easy one. Hopefully we've seen it in some regard in our lives. When you focus on your relationship with a partner or spouse or whatever, suddenly it grows into something beautiful and magical. When you focus on a relationship with a kid or whatever, when you focus on lead generation, what happens?
Get a deal.
You get a deal. Yeah. So that's what you focus on expands. Gary talks about the domino effect, which you can read all about in The One Thing. We might have copies around.
We do.
What's interesting there is that a single domino can take down a domino that is 50% larger than that. So when we're focusing, this is the lesson here is what to focus on. It's to focus on the one thing that can take down the next thing. Small steps, right? I didn't include it, but Gary drew a cute drawing of 2 ladders. One with rungs close together, super easy to climb. The other with the first rung way up here and the next rung 6 feet above it. Little bit harder, right? So the idea there is let's tackle one thing at a time. Let's implement the domino effect. Start with a small step to take action, to apply focus there and let it knock down the next domino. Apply focus there, let it knock down the next domino that's even bigger. Yeah.
So can I just say something about what you focus on expands?
Yeah.
Let's suppose you're driving and you get cut off.
Mm-hmm.
How long do you want to focus on that? How long does it make you angry? How long does it take you away from what's truly important in the moment, which is to stay safe driving?
Mm-hmm.
We often get so into our distractions that they expand. They expand way beyond what they're worth. Remember, some of you might remember a book called Chicken Soup. No, not Chicken Soup. Was it Chicken? There's a book that Don't Sweat the Small Stuff. The book was called Don't Sweat the Small Stuff. So you got cut off in traffic. And there's a lot of reasons why, and there's a lot of blame that you can assess. How long are you going to stew in that? Or whatever it is that isn't going your way. The longer you stew in it, the more it expands and takes your mind energy away from what you could be thinking or doing.
Yeah. And how that could play out in a real estate business is a client fires you or says no or whatever.
Absolutely.
Like, are we going to let that eat us alive and put our energy on that rejection? Or are we going to go focus on the people that are out there that are going to say yes to us? So, thank you. I think I've got one more slide on this law. Oh, the 80-20 principle, of course. So this is, again, where to apply focus. You guys know the 80-20, I'll describe it anyway. So the truth around the 80-20 principle, which is the principle of the greatest leverage, also called Pareto's principle. He's the economist that discovered it, I guess. There's a pattern of predictable imbalance in life called the 80-20 principle, and it is the principle of greatest outcome for the time and effort expended. So essentially, we can expend effort in a small area to get most of our results, and I'll show a graph in a second. So it talks about how the economist, Mr. Pareto, we're not on a first name basis, he discovered this pattern, 100 and something years ago, while studying wealth. So he found that 20% of people, originally in England, and then he found that it works pretty much everywhere, held 80% of the wealth. And then he found that it sort of was everywhere. And Gary Keller talks a lot about this in The One Thing as well, is that it works in our activities, in our businesses as well. 20% of what we do is going to result in 80% of our results. So what does that mean? Like, lead gen is a great example. Like, I don't spend 100% of my time lead generating. I spend probably a little less than 20%, if I'm honest. And it's where most of my money comes from. It results in 80% of it. Yeah. Anything to add on 80-20 principle?
I never saw that graph. I really like this one.
Awesome.
I really visual.
Yeah, it's a great visual, isn't it? Yeah, thank you.
Who here knows that they're focusing on their 20%? And who here knows that they're not and they're kind of lingering in that 80?
Yeah. Okay.
What groups are you guys in, the 80 or the 20? And if you're in the 80, what can you do to move into the 20? Like, what are your next steps?
Just make 5 phone calls a day. Just make 6. I mean, do something.
Do something. That's
That's a separate class, I think. The what to do. But yeah, I mean, that's a great point. It's very normal, I think, for people to get caught in the 80%. I know I see it all the time. And so shifting, well, the first is acknowledging it. So thank you all for acknowledging that you tend to live in the 80%. The next step would be to figure out what the 20% could be in a perfect world, and then how to set your time block, if it's not on your calendar, it doesn't exist, to make it happen. Yeah?
Just real quick, you want to follow the concept of leverage, which is in the MREA book. So what you need to do is determine how much is your hourly rate? What are you worth per hour? And any time of the day, if you're doing an activity that can be done for a much lower fee, you shouldn't be doing it. You should have someone else do it for you.
That's right. And I'll add, like, I can imagine a lot of resistance to the idea of spending money at all, especially for a lot of our newer agents. And that's where leveraging the office can come in handy as well. It's like, what can this office do for you to free up some of your time? So same concept, just less money involved.
Yeah, Gary always preaches there's no job too small to subcontract.
That's right. Yeah.
For me, I feel that, I do a lot of 80% because I like them and I got good at them.
Yes.
But my mindset is to change at getting good at the 20% and enjoying, because once you get good at what you're not familiar with, then it's easier to do the 20%.
Yeah, absolutely. That goes back to the way that I talked about at the beginning. Watch that section. That may help with some breakthroughs on how to make the 20% easier and more accessible. Yeah. Okay. Oh, this works perfectly with Steve's points. The path is in the math is number 4. Can mean lots of things, but I think Steve's on to something really solid, which is what is your hourly rate? What do you want it to be? And what are you doing that is not worth that hourly rate? There's math in that, right? It can also mean numbers are everywhere. I hope we can imagine that. Like my alarm clock goes off at 6:30 or whatever. That's a number, 6:30. I choose to get up at that point. I exercise for 20 minutes. Yes, only 20. Anyway.
Better than 0.
Better than 0 minutes. That's right. I have to take the kids to school at whatever time. These are all numbers. I know that I need to make 14 contacts in order to set an appointment. There's a number right there. I know that I need to go on 3 appointments to basically guarantee 2 listings or 2 agreements, and so on and so forth. So the path is in the math. We might be afraid of numbers, and there are numbers all around us that are in fact accessible, and as we get more comfortable, I'm curious to hear how some of us talk about numbers. Like I hear a lot, like numbers scare me, math scares me, or I've heard that plenty of times. And yet there are numbers that I know you're not afraid of, like when your alarm clock goes off. So how do you get more and more accustomed to the numbers that are in your life that are accessible so that you can take the next step and understand, for example, how many contacts you need to make in order to set an appointment, and then how big your database needs to be to fund the life that you want to have. I got there fast, but yeah. Path is in the math. Number 5, there is no try. There is no try. Yoda said this, no, try not, do or do not. There is no try. You guys remember that scene? Mm-hmm. Yeah, talking to Luke. So he was talking about this. He was talking about the importance of commitment and focus and taking action with the full expectation to succeed. Someone else say that in their own words. What does this mean to you?
If you're gonna do it, then do it.
If you're gonna do it, do it. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's it.
Okay. That's kind of what Yoda said. Yeah. Like, don't try to do it, do it. And does that mean that you can't fail? I've heard the argument that like this quote that Yoda says is maybe pushes people away from things that they might fail at, which I don't buy. I think that's a misinterpretation of what Yoda says. This is what Yoda was saying to me, and to Gary Keller. I think I stole his words here. Is that it's about commitment and focus, and just expecting the outcome that you're looking for. If you approach something like, yeah, I'll give that a try, like that's very different than, I'm gonna do that, right? Like what's an example? Oh, I'm gonna try to have a good marriage. Yes, Steve.
Gary shared the story that he went to Baylor and got a degree in real estate, and then went back to Austin. He was like 23 years old, and very early in his career, he met an investor that had I think it was a multi-unit property, and he wanted him to list and sell it for him. And Gary had never done one, and Gary said, I'll try and sell it. And he looked at him, he goes, what do you mean try and sell it? I'm not hiring you to try to sell it, I expect you to sell it. And he never used the word try after that.
Yeah, thank you. Yep. How does this show up in your lives? Anyone want to share something that they've tried versus something that they've gone in just expecting to happen? No, you're thinking of something? Okay.
I'm not sharing.
Yeah, I mean, think about how that shows up in like the things that are most important to you. I'm going to try to be a good parent versus I'm going to be a good parent. Like, the words that we use are important. I'm going to try to make enough money so that we don't get evicted or whatever it is. Like, no, I'm going to make enough money so we don't get evicted, so that we can pay our bills, whatever. Yeah, so different. So it's not about not being able to fail, I guess. It's about going in with the full expectation that you won't. Yeah. And you don't fail until you stop. I think that's something Gary said as well. Like giving up is when you fail. But using the word try gives you permission to give up. So here's some steps to not trying. One is you're committing yourself to a goal fully. You're not hesitating, or rather, these are benefits of not trying. There's no hesitation, right? Like you're just doing it. It helps you eliminate your own hesitation. It helps you take action because you're not approaching it in a wimpy way. You're going to do it, and doing is about taking action, about taking concrete steps towards your goal. And then when you remove try from your mindset, you commit to the belief that you can accomplish the task. So I don't want to hear try. Is that fair? Okay. What happens?
I'm going to try not to do that. Just kidding.
Try not to try.
Can we call each other out if we use the word try?
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll try to call someone out if you...
I have to versus I get to.
Yeah.
Same idea.
Right, I have to versus
Language
yeah.
is
Well, yeah. I don't know that I'm with you on that one.
I know.
All right, side conversation. Okay. Oop. Go. Cool. Okay, so why would you not commit? So these are 5 things that often present resistance to us committing. So one is we're not ready to make a decision. There's ambiguity or doubt. You somehow believe that you can't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you want to use the word try so that you're not fully committed, right? That actually applies to all of these here. Fear, you let the fear of failing stop you, which is odd because everyone every day makes unconscious commitments that make their life actually function. So why would we not commit to the big things that are going to make our lives thriveful? Settling, you simply settle into a life of settling instead of acting to live your best life. I know I've seen this among friends, and it's heartbreaking. And then knowledge. You don't realize the price that you're paying to not fully committing. Anyone want to share a personal experience? Will someone share a personal experience with one of these 5 things? Yeah, Anda.
It's just a thought that I didn't, or somewhere I read or heard that we focus on the negative, the fear. But I said there is 50% of chances that you're going to win and 50% chances that you're going to lose. So but we always say it's more chances that we're not going to fail than win. But it's 50-50 or more. But just shift that and then you'll feel better and act differently.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
I think number 1 hits me there. Like I'm indecisive. So like before I even changed my career, I was in banking for a while. And I was indecisive. I wanted to make up my mind what I want, right? I knew I wanted to be in real estate, but when opportunity came by with banking and promotion, I took that instead, right? And then I finally made a decision. What makes me happy, right? And what's the future for myself? Do I see myself going that path, right? Once I changed into real estate and being my boss and entrepreneur, my mind just clicked and changed. So I think number 1 was a big change.
Yeah, so before you committed to that decision, you were trying real estate?
No, I wasn't.
You weren't even.
I was studying for it.
Okay.
I didn't commit to it, right?
Yeah.
I was kind of iffy about it, kind of scared to change careers, right? But once I made a decision, say I will do it, not try.
Yes.
Then it changed a lot, and things are a lot better.
All right. Okay. Cool. Decisiveness. Love that. We could talk all day about decisiveness. All right. Well, let's keep rolling. Number 6. Life is not fair. How does it feel hearing that life is not fair?
Tell it to your kids all
Whatever.
the time. It's too bad life isn't fair.
You know, I find this one interesting because well, I think I talk about it on the next slide. Okay. The only thing that makes life unfair is the delusion that it should be. It's an interesting thought. Thank you, Steve. Yeah, what struck me about this law is, so it puts forth the idea that life is not fair. But at the same time, life is not fair either. Life is not unfair either. It just is. Oh yeah, I did write about this. Okay, so it just is. Life makes no promise. Like it's just life. It's shit that happens. It's good, bad, ugly, whatever. It just is. It makes no guarantees or assurances, yet hope springs eternal. So that when we accept that reality is just fine, it just is what it is, it allows us to deal with what's in front of us, with the hand we've been dealt, knowing that life's going to change. Life's going to keep being life regardless of if we expect it to be fair or not. You follow? So Gary talked about, I guess, how to make sense of this whole fair versus unfair versus nothing at all concept is fairness comes about when we agree on rules. So like when we're playing I think he used a football example or something. Like when we have a ref and we have a set of rules that we all agree on before we start playing, then you can say that something's unfair when a rule is broken or whatever. But life doesn't have a set of rules. Maybe gravity, I don't know. So it just is, right? Like we can't expect anything specific from life, period. And when we do, that is what triggers us to feel that there's unfairness. But it's because of our falsely placed expectation, not because of anything innately true about life. Life is just life. Mel Robbins said, any world-class card player will tell you it's not about the hand you've been dealt, it's about the hand.
How you play it.
How you play the hand. How you play the hand. Yeah. So it's true, we're not all dealt equal hands. Some of us get a huge leg up, and some of us have our kneecaps, whatever. And it's about how we choose to play that hand. That's ultimately takes us where we go. We got pictures. All right, and then so how do you deal with this idea of when life happens and it's not good? What do we do about it? And we tend to fall into two general groups: the accountable group and the victim group. When life happens to a victim, they tend to avoid reality. They tend to fight reality. Like, that's not how I see it. That's not what's actually happening. They tend to blame. Like, if only everyone else would do their thing, then life would be fine for me. If only they would see my point of view, whatever. Personal excuses. It's not my job. It's not my fault that happened. Or waits and hopes. If it was meant to be, it'll just happen. Right? And then there's the accountable people. They seek reality. What is actually happening? What's going on in this market, this real estate market that we're in? Okay, interest rates are going up. All right, that's just the way it is. I'm acknowledging reality. Can't change it. It's life. We got higher interest rates now. So I get to own it now. Like, oh, that's fine. If I'm going to succeed, it's up to me. No one's going to help me with interest rates going down. I'm going to find solutions. All right, what do I do? What do I need to do to keep building a business in a high interest rate environment? Find those solutions. Hence, it's usually talking to just more people because we're in shift. And then gets on with it. All right, let's do it. Let's just do it. Not try to do it, but do it. Yeah. So, which one do we want to be? Do we want to be accountable? Do we want to be a victim? And why? Is there an obvious answer here or no?
Accountable.
Okay, accountable. Thank you. But why? Why does that? I mean, sometimes it's nice to play victim. Like, it's not. I can't do anything about it. It's fine. I'll just wait and whatever. So, what does accountability actually get us?
Confidence.
Uh huh. What you focus on expands. Yep.
Results.
So we get to, So we get to focus on the activities that bring us results. We get to focus on dealing with the reality of the situation and not ignoring it. Yeah. I guess another way to think about this is like, how would we raise our children? Do we want them to be accountable? Or is it okay if they play the victim? Any parent want to speak to that?
Accountable only.
Accountable only, why?
You gotta make them strong.
Yeah, so that?
So that they can be independent without always depending on you. When you pass on, when you die, they can
Yeah,
be strong themselves.
so they can live their best life.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hearing. Yeah.
It's really fun when you hear your children tell their children things that you said to them that they just hated.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, that is like, ooh, it's stuck.
In good ways, I
Oh,
assume?
yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
I can think of patterns
No, no.
that are not good, so, yeah, okay. Yeah, so, like, we're teaching our kids to be accountable. Are we as accountable as we could be? No, probably, yeah. Sometimes, yeah, sometimes, yeah. So this, to me, when I was re-putting this together and re-listening to Gary's thing, like it's so empowering. Like, this is empowerment, the accountable side. Like, I get to control what to think about reality, to acknowledge it, and to do something about it. That's so powerful, yeah.
Hey, in order to succeed in this business, you're gonna have to be able to identify if your prospective clients or customers are victims or are accountable, so that you know how to address them or consult with them.
Yeah.
Because if you're gonna run across a lot of victims, and a lot of them can take up a lot of your time if you allow them to. But
Yeah.
You need to learn how to deal with the different
Yeah.
types of people.
That's a whole class that we could teach on how to
We should
deal
do
with
that
people.
one.
Yeah, that's great. You wanna help with that class?
Just real quick, I
Yeah.
had a listing presentation on Sunday, and I had a full-blown presentation all ready to go, and I only got about into like the third slide when I talked about, preparation, analyze price and preparation. As soon as I got the price, the seller wanted to know, well, what price did you come up with? So, well, forget my presentation, I just went right to the last page of my market analysis, and that's where we ended up, and it was a done deal. I
Yeah.
probably saved about an hour and a half.
Yeah.
I was ready for it, but she was so high D, all she cared about was the price.
Yeah. That's great. Thank you.
You might have someone that's gonna wanna, that's gonna be a victim, is gonna wanna hear all this stuff and why they should do this and not do that, and on and on and on.
Yeah, that reminds me.
You gotta be ready for it all, but you never know what you're gonna face when the time comes.
Right. I'm reading a book called Super Communicators right now. Highly recommend already. I'm probably 4 chapters in. One thing they talk about is what conversation is actually happening. So when you're at a listing presentation, and obviously we've got like things that we want to talk about, but where are they? Are they in a pragmatic, like, what are the next steps mode? Or are they in an emotional state where they want to be heard about how they overpaid for this property 2 years ago or whatever, and need to be validated so that they can move towards what needs to happen? Or is it even more of a social identity thing? Like, maybe they're gonna sell this property for a loss and they feel shame around that as it relates to their outward-facing identity. And sometimes I find that us as real estate agents are so quick to like, well, here's what you do. You need to sign this contract with me, and then we're gonna prepare the property, and then we're gonna do this, and it's gonna be great. And we're missing out on where they're at, which might be like heartbreak or whatever. Maybe they're going through a divorce. Have we acknowledged that? Or had a death in the family. So anyway, so that's the lesson I've learned already, is what conversation is happening and how do you get
Have you
there.
ever started crying with your client? Because I did.
Yeah, it happens. Yeah,
It's pretty tough.
Yeah. Okay, well, thank you for that. Yeah, quick aside. All right, number 7. We're doing great. You can fail your way to success. Got some nods, yeah. All right, anyone want to jump in and share what that means to them?
We learn from failing.
We learn from failing, yeah. Yep. Yeah, I think I have a quote here. Yep, there we go. The greatest mistake you can make is to be afraid to make one. What happens if you're afraid to make a mistake?
Nothing happens.
Then you're into, well, either trying mode or not even trying. because there's so much fear around them. So we don't succeed our way to success, we fail our way to success. And if we succeed on the first time, what do we call that? Luck. Yep. So luck isn't a strategy, but failing actually is. And why is failing a strategy? Because we get to try things. Oops. We get to do things and maybe learn where we fall back and what needs to happen so that we can do something else, course correct.
And you can't really appreciate success until you fail.
Yeah, that's right too.
Yeah, you have to learn that, whoa, this is what failure is, and whoa.
Yeah, and then that success just feels so much, more potent, powerful. Yeah. Anything else on?
Well, I was gonna say, I mean, there are gonna be a lot of times where you're gonna, I don't necessarily say fail, but you're gonna make a mistake, or you're not gonna do something that you probably knew you should have done, but you skipped that step. And then something's gonna go wrong. And I've always, as soon as something goes wrong, I always ask myself, I look back and go, what did I miss, or what did I do wrong, or did I make a mistake somewhere? And then I identify that, and then I fix it so that it doesn't happen again.
Yeah. Does that work for everyone?
Yeah.
Does anyone find this?
Learn more
Yeah.
failure than the.
Does anyone find themselves failing in the same way over and over and over again?
Yeah.
Some of you. Okay.
With all that said, though, when you're new in the business, you don't know what you don't know, but you need to try to learn as much as you can, as quick as you can, because you don't want to practice in front of the client.
Mm-hmm.
There's too much at stake.
Oh.
That's why you need to do, Stephen has everybody do the role play. You need to practice scripts and role play so that when you're in front of the client, it all comes out naturally and comfortably.
Yeah.
You don't want to, clients can pick up on your lack of confidence and your lack of knowledge from what you verbally communicate.
But that is again, you're trying not to fail, isn't it?
Trying not to fail in as far as.
Getting the deal or whatever.
Well, you're doing the things so that you can be the best version of you.
Sometimes questions
don't-
comes
yeah,
randomly, I try to
Yeah.
answer
Well, here-
and then keep thinking about it.
Well, here's the challenge.
Yeah.
If you've got enough people if you're talking to enough people day in and day out,
Yes.
yes, you can fail.
Yeah.
But I would submit that probably 80% of this room is not talking to enough people that they can assure themselves that they're gonna do a lot of business. So
Yeah.
you can't afford to fail in front of the people you're in front of.
I think
Yes.
I would like to
Get
talk
yourself
to
to a
people,
certain level.
even if there is no interest from
Yeah.
both the sides, yeah.
Right. Yeah,
You
we
gotta
have to.
learn from your failures, so the next time, repeat it.
Right. So ideally, we're failing in role play with each other before we go
Yeah.
out there in the world. But I mean, I've failed plenty of times with a client as well. Like, oh, I don't like how I said that. Or like presented something in a way that lost me the deal or whatever. Like it happens too, and then we get to learn from it. Allow it to pave a path towards success. I feel like I had another point. Okay, well, let's keep going. Number 8, where belief lives, fear can't. Where belief lives, fear can't. So your belief, we've talked about this, but life is an inside job. Your belief determines your actions, and your actions determine your results. First, you have to believe. Thanks, Mark. I know we've talked in this room also about the success cycle, that your belief, as Mark says, determines your actions, and your actions determine your results. Your results determine your potential, and your potential determines your belief. That's a cycle, goes in circles. And we get to control that belief in ourselves. That's what Tony Robbins says. We get to control our belief, we get to control our actions. So let's keep going. So a belief is a thought that you have that you accept as true. Fair? Cool? Okay. Whereas fear is an emotional feeling you have when something bad could happen, or that something bad could happen. Belief is a mental stance with emotional aspects, whereas fear is an emotion you feel with mental aspects. Are we following how they're on opposite ends of the spectrum? One is a thought with feelings, the other's a feeling with thoughts. Yeah. So, what Gary says is that quick definition. Emotion rooted in the avoidance of something negative. That's what fear is. Whereas a belief is a thought rooted in embracing anything you see as positive with beneficial outcomes. So we've got these things, two separate opposite ends of the spectrum, and the argument here, backed by science that I cannot quote for you, is that you can't have them both at the same exact time about the same thing. I believe in my success, and I'm fearful that I'm not going to make it. Which one wins? Fear. Fear takes over. Why? Have you ever had that feeling in your body? Got nods already. I haven't even finished my sentence. Where, so there's a feeling in the body, and then the words that come out, like, you don't even know where they came from, right? Like, the things that we do and say when we are in response to a feeling don't match what we want necessarily to happen with the thoughts in our head. Have we all experienced that? Like maybe responding in anger, that's probably the most common one, because anger is a feeling, not a thought. I'm not seeing as many nods as I expected. Okay, are we following at least? Okay. So you can't have both. These are on opposite ends of the spectrum, and when we let the fear happen in your body, it's going to win. Your body's loud. Sometimes we're real good at ignoring the fact that it is our body, an emotion, and we like to trick ourselves into thinking it's a thought, because we can do that.
I have something very interesting to share.
Yeah.
I'm 54 and I've just learned something very interesting. So I have to disclose to everybody that I'm a Muslim and I believe in one God.
Mm-hmm.
And what makes a person a Muslim, everyone in this room could be a Muslim by saying one thing. And that is to say, I declare that there is no God, that you eradicate all the fears of all the beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
Say, I believe there is no other God except one God.
Mm-hmm.
And that statement itself makes you a Muslim. I believe in one God. And that's why I just come to realize that in the root of Islam is that it eradicates all gods in life that we see and we believe, except oneness in one God. And that's it. That makes a person Muslim. Like, oh my God, I just discovered something that in the religion, deep-rooted in the Abrahamic religion, is that the oneness that you believe firmly, there's only one God. You don't have to practice, you don't have to pray, you don't have to do anything, but it still makes you a Muslim.
Yeah.
What I just learned now, the first principle is that you eradicate all forms of people what they worship in life.
Mm-hmm.
Your money, your wealth, your children, your assets, everything that people worship, directly or indirectly, and eradicating all fears and bringing to one rooted belief that there's only one God that rules everything around you in your life.
Yeah.
I just find it fascinating that this is what makes the person Muslim, not about praying or fasting or going to Hajj or whatever the belief or charity. Just that simple statement where you remove all fears in life.
Yeah, so there's wisdom there, right?
I'm so fascinated to learn this now.
Yeah.
This slide. Here again, you're highlighting the fear.
Yeah.
Remove of emotional fear that's rooted in something negative.
Mm-hmm.
Right? When the people fear of loss, people fear, oh, I'm going to lose my money, my wealth, my children, my house. So remove all the fear and then bring that to belief that, hey, I'm going to believe and make it work.
Yep.
So bring the positive more and eradicate the unknown, which is the fear.
That's right. Yeah.
Because a lot of people feel that, hey, I'm not doing well in real estate. Let's see what's on the other side of the fence.
Uh-huh.
Well, there's nothing easy on the other side of the fence. It's always hard life out there too. So you're going to restart something new rather than focus and do something what you can do and believe in it.
Right.
I think things that we all need to, maybe even myself, is believe that what you're doing is the best and try it better, learn from others rather than just sitting and saying, damn, I'm going to fail.
Mm-hmm.
So removing the fear of failing, I think is very important. Whatever you try is a positive thing.
Yeah.
You may not get a client,
Thank you.
but you tried,
that's it for now.
That's deeply, I'm very fascinated.
Yeah.
Where all these scientists and these philosophers are coming to the same root problem of eradicating fear.
Right.
And believing in yourself, really.
And the potential that unlocks is really the argument in this context is by letting belief be the stronger thing.
Yes.
You're
in the fear.
Unlocking so much potential.
Yes.
Yeah, that's cool. All right. All right, number 9. Only 2 more. No one succeeds alone. It's one of my favorites too. we have, man, humans are so silly. We think we can do it all. Like, we don't want to ask for help. Like, no, I got it. Like, what was I doing? I was digging up bamboo. First of all, there's a disclosure item, because you'll never get rid of it. I was digging up bamboo all weekend, and someone called me, one of my guy friends, and I told him I was doing yard work, and he's like, "You want me to come over and help?" Like, no, I got it. Like, what did I just do? I just turned down. Have you guys ever dug up bamboo? It is hard. Oh, man. So anyway, yeah, you can't do it alone. You can't do it in this business alone either. Typo? Thank you. Okay, Isaac Newton said, "If I have seen further than others, it's because I was standing on the shoulders of giants." So even Isaac there is saying, I can't do this alone. I'm doing this because people came before me, because I work with others, because I can't do it alone. Oh, I have way more to say. Man, there's so much here. This goes back to what Steve mentioned about leverage too. So to me, let me put the law up there so we've got it in the background. Okay, so to me, no one succeeds alone. There's a handful of things there. One is, if you're truly doing everything in your business, you're never actually going to sell real estate. You're going to be focusing on that 80% until it occupies 100% of your time, and there are 0 results, or at least not the results you're looking for. So first, there's the leverage aspect, is recognizing, acknowledging, I can't do this alone, I need help. Maybe it's, hey, Harshita, help me with some marketing, or whatever it is, right? Like, start little steps, small steps. And then the other is, the bigger concept, though, and what this means to me, more in Isaac Newton's vein, is that there's so many people that have done such amazing things in the world. Why would we not look at what they've done and do that? Or do that with your little twist or whatever? Why are we trying to reinvent the wheel, reinvent new ways of doing business that people have already tried and failed at? Why do we do that? It doesn't do us any good. Ego, yeah. Or fear of what? Burdening others, of looking like I don't know everything, have my stuff together. Yeah. All right. Anything else on no one succeeds alone to add?
I think the good thing we have in KW, just bringing it to reality of what we see every day. I always position myself when I would go to a client that we have a huge number of agents in the office, we have a large force here, we have people with 20 years experience, we have people who are brokers and agents. So I always leverage personally, although I've been in business for some time, the fact we have an attorney in our office who's next door to me, further disclosure of names. It goes a long way sometimes,
Yeah.
because they want to hear that you have credible people with your team, rather than just you show up with a listening agreement and sign this. Sign it for what? Why trust you than somebody else?
Mm-hmm.
So personally, I always leverage on the teamwork, and if you see my flyers, I always put Abu's name, Ridwan's name, Wanda's name, and it brings them credibility too. So I'm not saying join my team by any means, but what I'm saying is, having been in the large organization like this, it brings a lot of credibility.
Oh, yeah.
And we should always leverage on that.
Yeah.
You don't have to be your own listing. You can always show other people's listing. These are office listings, and it shows that office is active.
Yeah.
Sometimes they just want that little push to say that you are not just another agent with a license, but somebody in the office is active and creating business.
That's right. This is your team right here.
It's your team,
Like,
exactly,
here's
yeah.
my team's listings, whatever. Yeah.
They've been in business for a long time. And sometimes, believe it or not, even sitting there in this conference room makes a difference.
Yeah.
So I always try to bring my clients in here, like last night I got a guy, and he's going to sign a listing agreement today. And it's a $2 million listing.
Yeah.
There's another guy, he took me to his bedroom last time, nowhere to sit. I'm like, why would I sit in your bedroom? So I asked the guy to come today to the office. And guess what?
Let's not take meetings in people's bedrooms.
He has like 6 screens doing online trading.
Okay.
This is my office and it's my bedroom now.
All right.
So he's coming today.
Kitchen table, yeah.
I think this setups we have is very positive. We have a conference room, the training centers, what Steve brings to the table. That's very positive for not just another agent with a license.
Oh, yeah.
We're currently updated with our thing, this weekly meeting. Those things I talk about, not just say, hey, give me 12% or 3%.
Yeah.
I think it's positive for us, and You know, it doesn't always have to be your own listing, you know, talk about other people's listing and say, hey, the team is doing this.
Yeah.
A quick question.
Thank
How
you.
many
Yeah.
agents we have?
Important, I think.
What's that?
How many total agents we have in our office now?
On the, I haven't looked today, but we're at 90 something ish. Yeah. Do you, Harshita, do you know off the top of your head?
What, agents?
Yeah.
The other day, I think we were at 85.
Okay. Yep.
90.
90. There you go.
Last I looked was 100 something. I was 100 plus. Maybe I'm wrong now. So yeah, I mean, 80 is a large
Approximate.
number.
That's fine.
Yeah.
About 100 is.
I said 100.
Yeah.
But that's a large number.
But we also, yeah, and we're also part of KW Advisors
Bigger-
Network,
bigger
which
broader audience.
is at thousands of agents.
Yeah.
So I mean, it depends on the perspective and what you're presenting. Yeah. Okay, let's get through number 10. Love is the answer. Love is the answer. Well, that's a nice one to end on. Love is the answer. John Lennon once said, "Love is the answer. What's the question? Does it matter what the question is?" That's what Gary Keller is presenting here. So it doesn't matter what the question is. Love is the answer. So what does he mean? Someone jump in and say something about love.
Love whatever you are doing.
Love what you're doing? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. What else can we love?
Work.
You can love yourself. Yes. There were like 4 voices at once. Harshita, you said something? Yourself. Okay. I like that you guys both said yourself before others.
You'll get more flies with honey than vinegar.
You get more flies with honey. Yeah. Let's see what I put on. Okay. So we got two buckets of, well, there's more than this. I think the Greeks said there are 3 buckets of love. We're going to talk about 2. Self-love. So cherishes your own self-worth, makes time to work on yourself, and takes care of your personal and physical needs. So back to that point about self-care, like there's a lot, if you're loving yourself, there's some self-care in there, which might look like time off, it might look like meditation, it could look like all sorts of stuff. There's an acknowledgement that we're working on ourselves. What does working on ourselves mean? I don't need work.
Got to grow mentally and physically, right?
What's that?
So you yourself got to grow, learn.
Yeah, yeah.
Physically have to stay fit.
That's right, my 20-minute workout. Yeah, that's part of this. Yeah. Yeah, okay, and then there's love of others. So cherishing the worth of others. Oh, we didn't talk about worth. We'll get to that. Makes time for others and offers care for both their personal and physical needs. So obviously this can take lots of different shapes. I think the Greeks had 8 different types of love. Romantic love, brotherly love, whatever. There's 8 of them. Most of them fall into this bucket, loving of others. So what does it mean to cherish the worth of others? How does that come out in real life? In our businesses, let's go there. How does this come out in our businesses?
Wish happy birthday, celebrate some events.
Celebrating an event, yeah? Could be, yeah.
Or participating in somebody's.
Appreciate what other people do for you.
Yeah.
Attitude.
Yeah, absolutely. So appreciating others and what they do, absolutely. What about your clients? How do you show that you cherish the worth of your clients?
Fiduciary duty.
Follow your fiduciary duty, absolutely. What else? Do you guys love your clients? Honest communication, yeah. Some of the can we show, all right, whether you like them or not, let's set that aside. So honest communication, that's a great way to show love. How else?
I mean, acknowledge your gratitude and thankfulness that you have them.
Yeah.
Customers and clients.
Right.
Thank them. Any chance you get, thank them for whatever it is they may do. And definitely thank them, at closing. Thank them throughout the year and years thereafter, because it'll all come back to you.
Yeah. How do you think the way, this is a general question, do you think the way you interact with and care for clients, the way that you do it by default would be different if it was your spouse, for example? Like the level of care that you bring your clients, does that depend on who that person is? Maybe that's my question.
Yes.
How's that?
It depends on who the client or who the person is.
Now, there might be behaviors that are different. I guess I'm asking about the general level of care.
The care you have for your family is like no other, to me.
Okay.
The care I have for my client is a more professional, right?
So would it look different if that professional care you called love?
It's a professional type of love. It's not,
Sure.
right, it's,
Fine,
it's an emotional love, but in a different way than you would love your family.
Yeah, that's fair. Yes.
But
Okay,
it
I'm
can
with you.
become very close to it.
Yeah.
Close to love.
Right.
And I've made some very good friends from people who were absolute strangers who became clients of mine. Okay.
And then good friends.
You know, and I've nurtured those relationships, and I'm very close to them.
Mhm.
And I have clients that I know more about their entire financial well-being than myself half the time.
And why do you know that? Why do they tell you that?
Because they trust me, because they know that I'm looking out for them, I'm not worried about myself, they're number one.
So you've shown them an authentic caring.
Yes.
And they've related to that by being authentic and vulnerable themselves. Yeah. To me, that's what's being said here is, again, we're taking this out of the transactional world and making it a relationship. We talk about that all the time. And when there's a relationship, when there's love in that relationship, we are elevating that level of care. We're also showing our own heart, which allows the other people to reciprocate in some way and create a tighter bond. So to me, that's a big part about what this means. My phone has been ringing off the hook. Okay, love of others. Anything else to add? Do I have anything else to add? Oh, I do. Okay. The act of loving others in the form of compassion and kindness to others promotes harmony and cooperation. So you're also creating a two-way street. It can serve as a counterbalance to the human tendency towards conflict and violence, providing a path for reconciliation and peace. I imagine you can also think about how this works when interacting with an agent on the other side of a transaction, for example. Let's promote harmony and cooperation by giving love, not the headbutting that sometimes happens. The act of loving others is often seen as a way to transcend oneself and connect with something greater. Whew. Why is that valuable? Why would I want to transcend myself? It's a weird phrase. Yeah.
It's about trust, right?
Yeah.
The more you create an environment for trust to happen, the stronger the relationship is going to be. The stronger the relationship is going to be, the better the outcome is going to be.
Yeah.
Generally speaking.
Yeah. It's that simple. Yeah. Thank you. Love is the answer. Do you guys believe it? Love is the answer? Get some nod. Oh, yeah. Okay. Cool. Awesome. That was the 10 bold truths. Thank you. Again, there's the presentation, hour and 20 minutes with Gary Keller. Live them, love them. If you want this presentation, let me know. The slide deck, I should say. Yeah.
So this presentation is part of this?
This is a video of Gary Keller presenting what I just presented.
Showed the slides.
Different slides.
So are you going to share?
I already shared.
Oh.
There you go. Magic happens. Cool. Well, that's all we have. I'll leave this slide up. Thank you guys so much. There's the 10 bold truths. Let's live them.